Mind you, I've never been to your panel, so I don't really know how you run your panels.
I mean, it's free speech over here, so we pretty much talk about whatever. Do you agree with the fact that children's faces are unrecognizable by these firearms?
You said, do I agree that children's faces are unrecognizable because of firearms?
Correct. The
Mm,
Parkland shooting, we had to identify children by their shoes instead of their faces.
that's interesting. I'm not familiar
hmm
with that actually.
Yeah, so what we're talking about is weapons of mass destruction,
Right.
right? That have the capabilities of taking mass casualties, multiple lives
Mm-hmm.
at one time. So when I say ban firearms, I'm talking about mitigating damage to society.
Right.
So um, if you think that people should have the right to defend themselves, that's fine. I
Right.
think that limiting the capabilities that a human has, at least within the context of America, to be able to defend themselves, has utility. Would you agree with that statement?
Definitely.
Okay. So, if there's a weapon of mass destruction, do you think that we should remove that weapon?
I mean, so hold on. So when we say weapon of mass destruction, because we can just be speaking about a simple firearm like a 40 caliber. You
Correct.
know, I don't believe that.
I think that any um, contraption that is made with a piece of metal that has a spring in it with a projectile that has the capability of taking multiple lives at one time should be
Mhm.
mitigated in our society. Would you not agree with
Okay.
that statement?
I can agree with that. Yeah.
So then that would be any firearm, meaning that firearm should be banned. So
I
then you agree
mean,
with that
okay.
statement.
So I get what you're saying, and it's just like there's always the black, the white, and I think a lot of people forget about the gray. I think that we have the right to defend ourselves. I think that we have the right to own firearms. I think that we should, because clearly we have the right. But when it comes to topics like, as far as this goes, like where we have children being, slaughtered or whatever, like it's unfortunate. But I don't think that our rights should be taken away because of the actions of people who, don't know how to use those or don't want to use those weapons responsibly
Are
or
you a
for a
conservative?
right reason. No, I'm not a conservative.
I've only heard conservatives make that argument. So essentially, what you're saying is that the pew pew doesn't take the life; it's the people that take the life.
I do feel like it's the people. I don't,
Yeah.
like,
So essentially, you're making the arguments that conservatives make, where we can, in a sense, blame the people instead of blaming the tool that those individuals use to get that job done, which I
I
think is
mean,
ridiculous. I think that we can blame.
yeah.
I think that we can blame both, and I think that we can regulate the tools that those individuals
Well, I
use.
mean, I think that blaming an object is insane. I think that people make decisions, not objects.
So what about
You can, you
so
can,
what
you
about
can,
bombs? You think that bombs are okay?
to what extent? Like, I mean, I think that it's okay if, if we're talking about going to a place and, bombing them, like, for reasons such as like killing and destroying civilizations based on religious beliefs. And there we have people right now, we have civilizations that are at war with each other and children are dying. Do I think that maybe they could be bombed?
What's going on, educating?
I can't complain. What are you up to?
Just showing. But yeah, I'm just pretty much chilling. What you wanna talk about?
Insurance is a scam, given if it's like free market driven.
You sound muffled.
Give me a second. Is that better?
A little bit.
I mean, is insurance a scam? I don't know. Some things, if it's market driven, it sounds fair to me. Of course, I got really low car insurance, so I would say that.
So you wouldn't say insurance is a scam?
Nah, I mean, for me, I got full coverage on one vehicle and liability on I think three others, and I'm only paying 200 a month, so I can't complain.
You're paying $200 a month for just three vehicles of liability and one vehicle for full coverage.
Yeah,
If you don't mind me asking, what state do you live in?
West Virginia.
That would explain that. If you lived in a place like New York, California, Florida, even Georgia, your insurance would be definitely at the 400, 500 rate. I've seen people go up to probably $600 in premiums for just two vehicles in the state of California. So, I mean, obviously, it's going to be different in the places that you had in West Virginia because there's less likelihood for risk. But the point that I make with that is people who live in states that are less risky, like West Virginia, um, are less likely to have any type of accidents take place. And so, because you guys have less accidents, you guys get less premiums or less in value in premiums. So, you guys benefit less off of it too because you guys are utilizing the claims department.
I see what you're saying, but I mean, it's still a choice because like we get to choose where we live. I mean, as a society, we
Well,
could
no,
do better on
insurance
like,
itself isn't a choice. As far as you choosing the place that you live, I would agree with that. But as far as you having the choice of whether your car is insured or not, you don't have that choice.
oh, I agree. And is it a imposition? Yes. Like, why does the government have the right? If we're talking about from ideological, why does the government have the right to require us to have liability? It's the government is the last one. Any government is the last one that should ever lecture people on morality, given that governments fight wars, not people. Governments have the unaliving penalty. Like, so, I mean, but if we threw out the liability, what would be a better replacement?
People being able to insure themselves. The problem with insurance as a concept is that it's built to profit, right?
Mhm.
So let's just say you were caught drunk driving last year.
Right.
I know that you're more risky of a person to be able to insure, so I'm not going to insure you, right?
Right.
Either that or I would insure you at a higher premium. Because of this, um, individuals who are drunk driving, for example, people who got caught without insurance, so they have to submit a SR22 to the DMV, those people have higher premiums that they have to pay. It's all within the numbers game. Those numbers are predicated by underwriting, and underwriting sets the standard of whether there's a profit or not. And so insurance is not based off of protecting the people like the claim that they make in these commercials and based off of what the agents tell you. It's based off of how much money the insurance company can make
Mhm.
based off of just collecting money. Insurance is collecting money for reinsurance. That's all
Oh, oh,
insurance is.
oh, I agree. I agree. And any government regulation is only necessary when people lose their morality. Like morality would say, if you get in a car accident and you damaged somebody else's car, get that car fixed because you got in a car accident. But people are not always moral. So if we're going to say that, if we're going to throw out the liability
You still
requirement,
sound a little muffled. Are you on like AirPods or something? Or like,
yeah, kind of. Let me just connect and come back. I'll be back.
all right,
Is that better?
nah, I don't know. Are you connected to the phone or connected to headset?
My headset.
That might be why the headset might be a little weird. I don't know.
Yeah, it was something I picked up somewhere. It wasn't. I didn't really do like research on it. The one I had a good one from Best Buy that lasted for years. This is not that.
Yeah, you gotta get you a better headset, gang.
Yeah, I got
Especially if you're gonna be on lives having conversations.
yeah. Yep. Have a good one.
All right, gang. Tap the screen, share the live. I know. I was at um I was at my homeboy crib, so I didn't really hear anything that happened after I pulled up, but I figured some people would come in here, but I am on my backup, so you know what I could do, Aqua? I could take this time to go and watch that video that you uploaded and fused together. I could do that. Would that be a better use of my time? You let me know. You know I'm the dummy up here. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Yeah, I feel like everybody fell asleep except for Arawaka. Yeah, maybe, right? That might be the better use of my time right now. I could play it on the live. Um, Start it up on my PC upstairs and just play it through the YouTube post you got up. You know what? Oh, I can't because fucking Jerry got banned too. Um, because I was gonna have it in the background. Um, yeah, that's what I'm trying to do, but it's way better to do that on Studio. Because otherwise I would have to play it on my other phone on my iPad, and people can't hear that as well. So I'm gonna see if I can sign in to Toodles into the studio so y'all can get the clear effects of it. That might be the better solution. Decisions. Yeah. I'm gonna head up to the little man cave or whatever. I'm gonna see if I can sign into the Toodles account and stream it from there. That way we get clear audio and shit. Give me 1 second. It is not letting me sign in. Um, what? Aqua, are you still here? Okay, so if I'm approved, what the fuck? Oh, never mind. Aqua, you still here? I think Aqua left. Aqua, did you not post it?
But nothing crazy. And then, yeah, and then
Aqua, I do not see it posted.
Self. Why
Well,
did
Yeah,
again,
because Theodore's dodging my question. Who were the women that got?
Aqua. Somebody shared out the Aqua. I just hit a restart. Why can't I add people up? Who is Q to view? Yeah, I'm trying to figure some stuff out right now.
Will you admit that I specifically
What's going on, Cascade? For some reason, I cannot. So we have two issues, Cascade. Number one is that I can't invite people to the live. Number two is that Aqua did not post the full video from the Tapley situation. And so I have no idea. So I'm on the Toodles account on Studio, which is from the computer. So that's not allowing me to go and request anybody up. Resume live. What does it mean, resume live? And where did Aqua post
specifically
this
told
video?
you when I dropped you, I said, I am
I
going
don't
to bring
remember.
you
It
back
says
up
I
in
left.
1 minute.
Okay, that's the Aura live. Damn, Aqua. I tried doing it. I don't see it. Give me a second. So I might just have to do it on my phone then. Yeah, I'm checking for it in the settings on the studio, but I don't see it. Literally everywhere. I've checked every button. So what I might have to do is just start it on my phone. So I'm just have to end this and start it on my phone. But Aqua getting cussed out. She getting yelled at for sure. Because she said she had a video. And I don't see the video. And now I'm mad. T-Bone is mad.
Yeah. Remember, he was taking his shit earlier, so he was clearing out before.
That's Peace going the fuck off. Okay. Yeah, Aqua did not post this video, bruh. Aqua, you cap for the net. I don't know why the multi-guest is not working. It's because and I know you're gonna get upset when I say this. A lot of you individuals in Messy Talk, y'all done got both of my accounts banned. So Jerry and Tom can't go live now. It's only the Toodles account, and Toodles only work on my phone. So when I go to the studio, because just to give you reference, yeah, absolutely, the Messy Talk. I unlocked 4 new characters in that last live. I don't know if you noticed, Cascade. With that being said, there was a situation with Tapley, and Tapley uncovered a bit of information for people as it pertains to the Epstein situation. What was in the files and uncovered some situations. Came to Bex's live the other day, and basically said that he had information that he exposed. There was this whole shit with Dean. RTP, I think, was one of the people that came up to the panel, was kind of going against Tapley. So I wanted to kind of recap that and see what was going on with that specific situation, because I know that there's a lot of times where people are having conversations about individuals that are victims of these situations. But unfortunately, I cannot request anybody up to speak on the matter. And Aqua did not post the video on her YouTube. So I'm pretty upset about it. Well, yeah, but Aqua didn't stream it, so I can't see it. That's the problem. If Aqua showed it, like, you know what I mean? But and she was in the comment section too, boy. She was like, I ain't got it. That's what she said. She was like, I ain't having recording. I'm fusing them both. But I don't see that motherfucker. It's on my backup. We'll send you the link. Hold on. Copy. If you just tell me what the YouTube is, I could just type it in. You got backup YouTubes, Aqua? What's going on? Like, I ain't never heard of a nigga having a backup YouTube. I ain't gonna cap. Okay. Yeah, you know how, bruh. I mean, to be fair, we did see the great craziness of TikTok get banned from YouTube, so I guess it would be valid to have a backup. But so Aqua, pretty much I would have to go live on my phone and I can't check the DMs when I'm live though. That's the problem. Hold on. Damn, Aqua, you be making hoard as hell. Damn. Oh, wait a minute. So I do see this shit.
And then Tapley will be here, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, we'll keep it
This
PG.
it,
We're gonna
Aqua.
keep it PG. We're gonna keep it friendly. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna have all of the
Yes, Aqua. I didn't know you had a backup. Is this
Americans
the one right
act
here?
Canadian, and they're gonna be really nice and really polite, and then we should be safe. Okay, so request stuff if you feel like you can be a Canadian for an hour. If you can act like a Canadian for 1 hour, you can request
copy.
stuff. If you can't, then don't.
Nah, there's hella yapping
$1,550 a person should be getting back from what it's costs with the
in terms of just how I was feeling politically.
Of course. Thanks for having us tonight, of course.
Okay,
Where's
I'm not
this start
following
at,
you on that.
Aqua? Cause Shorty was yapping. I ain't gonna lie. I saw him giving a little PowerPoint presentation. Right?
frame. And if it's a little too dark, Danielle, let me know, and I'll be happy to put up the lights a little bit in here. I'm using my back camera, so I see nothing. I'm not going to be able to see the screen this entire time.
Okay. Is someone holding your camera? Because it's a little bit.
Yeah. So it's on a
shaky.
tripod. It's on a tripod. He just settled it. So it will move sometimes, but it'll balance this like after he sets it. See? It's
Yeah,
still.
we can see
that's
everything
good. That's
really
good right
well.
there.
That's perfect.
Can you see me?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You
All
look
right.
great,
Well,
Tapley. You do.
Yeah.
thank you so much. Thank you so much. I got a stacked heel loafer on for you as promised. It clicks when I walk. It's a whole thing. First of all, I want to start tonight by saying that I am so humbled. I'm so nervous, and I am especially honored to be doing this before all of you. I cannot believe that I've managed to get such a powerhouse panel of people to show up for this. And I'm under the impression that, since I have all of these megas on my panel tonight, a lot of you out there listening have no idea who the fuck I am. And that's okay. I hope that after tonight that changes. But if you don't know me, my name's Tapley. I've been working on a deep dive Jeffrey Epstein files investigation for the greater part of about 8 months. Now, last year, roughly about 1 year ago, I was feeling very politically frustrated. I somehow ended up on the TikTok live debate space. I think the first panel that I actually ever saw was Montana's, believe it or not. It was infuriating. And then I pivoted over to Mojo's. I believe he was the first live I ever loved. I watched for a couple of weeks. I didn't have the guts to ever hit request up, but I was a master debater in high school. I was a Lincoln Douglas guy, cross-examination guy, old skill. And after a couple of weeks, while watching these people and trying to build up the guts, I finally did hit request up. And very quickly, I posited myself as a pretty good debater in this community. I made friends with all of you. And that in and of itself was life-changing and just therapeutic in terms of just how I was feeling politically. And then by the summer, once the Jeffrey Epstein case came back into public consciousness, I realized I didn't know anything about it. So it felt, like I needed to do due diligence and start doing some research, right? So I knew how to argue the facts. And I ended up on this article called Teen Girls, Powerful Men, an inside look. Sorry, I'm butchering this. Sorry, Guardian. It's called something like Teen Girls, Powerful Men, Inside the Elite Model Look at the Year's contest. And it detailed Donald Trump's association with 3 notorious French perverts, Jean-Luc Brunel, John Casablancas, and Gerald Marie, the 3 heads of the most powerful modeling agency in the world at that time, Elite Model Management. Donald Trump hosted these at his properties. He co-funded them, and he was a judge. The article was fascinating. It pierced right through me. And reading that article without doxing my friend, I knew that I had a question for my best friend. My best friend was a former crown holder in the Miss Universe organization. I'm not going to say which. I'm not going to say which year. Let's say around turn of the century, okay? Point is, my best friend for over half of my life told me, I asked her a series of questions. And in that line of questions, I got one name, which on day one turned into a shocking reveal, which to this day remains my greatest lead that I've held very close to my chest. I'm not done investigating it yet. Point is, it was basically that moment that basically turned into this entire thing. And here I am 8 months later, and I've sacrificed everything for this. Since I've been doing this, I gave up my job, again, without doxing anybody. Turns I was an elite waiter at one of LA's most popular restaurants, very high paid job that I liked a lot. But unfortunately, owner of said company turned out to be one of Trump's biggest donors in the last election cycle. And for the money that he contributed, it seems as if he was appointed an ambassador to a European country. Therefore, I didn't really feel safe given that most of my cohorts at work knew what I was up to. And on top of that, ethically, I couldn't live with myself, knowing that I was exceptionally skilled at extracting money from Beverly Hills MAGA to then hand over to my boss, to hand over to Trump, who fucking hates my guts. So, and through the process, I've lost that job. I've disturbed my best friend who has begged me every step of the way to stop this. I've scared my lover, and I've scared myself. I hate knowing what I know, but that said, I'm really proud of the work that I've done. All of it to say is, throughout the process, it's important to know that this debate community that I just kind of ended up in out of political frustration also became my investigatory team. I was able to meet really talented individuals from across the planet, and a small crew of us together have made basically an Avenger-style coalition of citizen sleuths who have never been interested in waiting for the files at all. We've always known that they were going to be heavily redacted, impartial, etc., and so on. Therefore, my team, which consists of, as far as people you're familiar with goes, Kate Fox Esquire, Jell, who you might know on the app, and some other people you haven't really heard of, but the point is, they've been my guiding light, and I couldn't have done any of this without them. Now, all of that said, again, I have become the de facto expert on this app, okay, as far as Epstein goes. You guys bat signal me all the time. I'm here to apply context, but I've shown you very few of my hands. And I have a lot of hands to show you. But tonight, What I'm going to present to you is something that I have found along with some of my cohorts over the last roughly 4 days, okay? And the reason I'm bringing this to you tonight is because it's one of the rare times that I managed to get a fully closed loop. Most of my best leads, I'll still continue to be investigating for months. It's a long process. That said, the final thing that I want to say, now that you kind of have an understanding of like what I'm doing, why I'm doing, or I'd like to kind of tell you just very quickly why I'm doing this. All right. Aside from the fact that I have the free time, I have the intellectual prowess, I have the curiosity, more than anything, I'm fucking sick of this shit. And on top of that, I am a survivor of extreme sexual abuse. Part of this work, of course, is to advocate for the victims directly tied to this case. But make no mistake, every single day, I'm saving myself. I was sexually abused whenever I was 3 years old. After being abandoned by my feckless parents, I was left with my grandparents, who were both not retired at that point. So I had to be put in childcare, like a day or a daycare inside of a home. I'm from a tiny town with 230 people in West Texas. It was nothing fancy. I went to a woman named Lois's house. Lois had 2 teen boys. My first memory is at Lois's house. It's in her bathroom. It was unfinished. I remember raw fiberglass on the wall with whatever you call it. It didn't have drywall up yet. It was just beams. The pink fuzz. I remember a bare bulb on a utility wire hanging out of the ceiling, and I was in a shallow bath. Next thing I know, I hear laughter that's not mine, and I see 2 silhouettes: a 14-year-old, a 17-year-old. I see erect penises. I see pubic hair, and before you know it, I have genitals in my mouth. And the fucked up thing is it wasn't even scary. It was gently coerced. I was groomed. I think I even remember a part of myself wanting more before I even had the language to know like what precocious even meant. It ruined me. And unfortunately, although my grandparents gave me a really wonderful life, once it was revealed what happened to me, because I was routinely molested several times by these 2 individuals, and once I got injured and I innocently exposed what happened to me, and my grandmother knew what happened, of course she confronted Lois, she confronted the 2 teen boys with my grandfather, and in the end, Lois tugged on my grandma's heartstrings. Boys will be boys. This will ruin their reputation, and this is a tiny God-fearing town. Please don't do this, more or less. And unfortunately, in spite of the fact that I maintain she's a good woman and she's still with us, huge failure. She listened to Lois. I didn't go to therapy. I got abandoned again. And I talked to her about this as an adult, and she told me it's the greatest regret in her life, because she remembers thinking at the time, the way she compartmentalized it was, surely he's going to be too little to remember. And unfortunately, I do. So all of it to say is, yes, I'm doing this for the people because I know you don't have time. Yes, I'm doing this for victims, but I'm especially doing it for little Tapley. I'm very terrified to do this. In the last week, my exceptionally rare name is foremost trending in an alarming area. That would be St. Martin's, aka Billionaires Row, aka where all the billionaires get together and party every New Year's Eve, aka where Donald Trump has a property, the Rothschilds, Mark Zuckerberg, the list goes on. You are my blanket of protection. Anybody monitoring me must be aware that I have hundreds, if not thousands, of you hanging on my every word every time I get on a panel. I don't need anything from you except your attention, and I thank you for being here, and I would like to start the show. If you would give me just give me like 2 minutes. I just got a file that I need for this presentation, so please relax, talk amongst yourselves for less than like 120 seconds, and I'll be right back to you, okay? Thank you.
Not it.
Can't hear you, Olive. I'll just do this so he's just not doing his thing on the main screen. So,
oh man, my heart's just broken right now just listening to that.
Yeah, and I think it's just important for people to know why he's doing what he's doing. You know, there's a lot of risk involved, but Tapley is a very incredible human, and I think we're all very lucky to have some.
We just do. We've got to do better as a country. We've got to protect our children, and I'm hoping that the Epstein files is the start of us taking this stuff a lot more seriously and protecting the children in the United States and around the world. I mean, this is crazy.
And I think this is an opportunity to thank Matt, Facts Still Matter, Roxy Politics, Dan, RTP, Pickles, Good Trouble. You know, you guys are fighting the good fight every time you host, every time you request up to somebody else's panel. You know, the voices are. I'm just going to mute Tapley. One second here. Oh, he's back. Okay. All right. Why can't I unmute him?
Daniel, before Tapley gets started, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop down so you can bring on another creator. But for everyone who's here who came from my live, thank you guys for coming in. I do appreciate you having me up. But I want to give let another creator be up. There's a lot more heavy hitters here besides me. But I'm gonna stay and listen. And so guys, if you're here from my live, I'm still gonna be here listening. I appreciate you having me, friend. But I'm gonna drop in, so please feel free to bring someone else up. Okay.
Thank you so much, Matt, for being here.
All right. Thanks, friend.
Much love.
All right.
Let's expand Tapley.
And everything's pretty good to go. Let's get this just a little bit. By the way, guys, look at this. Can you see this? I ordered a
Hey, fancy,
retractable.
Taffy.
I ordered a retractable wand for this. Okay, so all right, now you guys ready to get started? So
Absolutely.
the way we're gonna start, we're gonna start in the most recent data set. Okay, now if you were to go look in the set yourself, you were to enter a few keywords. Let's say you could tie this to Jeffrey Epstein. You could find this through Gerald Marie. You can find it through Jean-Luc Brunel. You could also find it through Alan Kittler. That would be Jeffrey Epstein and 3 of his associates, heads of elite model management. Again, during peak pop culture era, 80s, 90s, the most important modeling agency in the world. Okay, so on top of that, another keyword that you'd want to look at is this, e-management. All right, now let's move over to the next slide, if we may, please. Thank you. Now, perusing through the emails, I learned that it appeared that these 4 gentlemen, again, Jeffrey Epstein, those 3 men from Elite Model Management, in the mid-early aughts, so let's say 2005 to 2010-ish, you'll see that essentially as a headline, these men appeared to be plotting a mega agency called E-Management, all right?
Tapley?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. Hey, Jill, if you're listening, how dare you for calling me during this? Please. Okay, sorry. Can't talk. I have everything I need. Thank you so much. Okay, so let's just go through this email here again. Okay, so this is going to be in the files. So, oh, sorry, no, this is media reporting, all right? So let's just go through these 2 bricks real quick, all right? Donald Trump will be paid a record-breaking $1 million an hour for Learning Annex appearances in 3 cities this year. That's over $16,000 a minute. Since it was founded in 1980, the Learning Annex has featured such celebrity teachers as Sarah Jessica Parker, Tony Robbins, Deepak Chopra, and Henry Kissinger. The previous highest fee was $28,000 paid to Ron Wood nearly 20 years ago when he was a member of the Rolling Stones. Trump's How to Succeed in Real Estate hits Los Angeles on May 1st, Chicago on October 23rd, and New York on November 6th. Learning Annex president/founder Bill Zanker said, quote, last time he taught for us, over 20,000 students came, and this year, he's even bigger. Mogul lusts for model shop, right below. Is billionaire financier Jeffrey Epstein making a bid for IMG models? As we reported last summer, Epstein tried to buy elite models when the bankrupt agency was auctioned off. In 2003, we reported that Epstein, who's been described as, quote, a connoisseur of beautiful women, was talking to Karen Models owner Jean-Luc Brunel about doing a deal, but it went nowhere. Epstein has also met with Elite's Gerald Marie and One Management's Scott Lips. Now we hear Epstein has been having talks with fellow billionaire Teddy Forstman, who paid $750 million for the IMG Group a few months ago, about buying the company's modeling division, which reps the like of Giselle Bundchen, Kate Moss, and Heidi Klum. Reps for IMG and Forstman deny any such negotiations are taking place. Epstein's rep did not return calls. Forstman has been talking to top Hollywood talent agencies about a possible merger. All right. So this is just kind of to show you, like Genesis kind of in reporting, right? That we start to see that this is a conversation that's starting to happen in public between 2003, 2004. Keep in mind, 1999 Elite models went down for reasons we don't even really need to get into that. But basically, they had to rebrand and rebuild. So let's move on to the next slide really quick. And this is kind of the more boring stuff, but it's about to get really interesting, okay? Now, this is from March 2006, page 6, reporting on e-model management, all right? Now, French model mogul Jean-Luc Brunel is behind e-model management. The New York agency Elite Europe's Gerald Marie is said to be opening soon. A source close to redacted, now, of course, this is in the emails that I found this, tells page 6 he's inked a deal to rep Elite Europe's models in the US. After Marie and new Elite New Elite New York owner, Eddie Trump, which I have a whole thing about Eddie Trump that just started. This is like developing news that I don't even have, like, we can talk about this after the live, but that's a whole other thing. Shout out to Becca Day for actually connecting the dots on Eddie Trump, but more on that later. Now, failed to come to terms. Elite New York and Elite Europe, once part of the same network, are now separate on titles. Yes, titles, and Elite Europe's Elite Europe's decision to open its own New York agency puts the former allies in direct competition. It goes on, the point is, just more context within the email to prove to you guys that, again, Jean-Luc Brunel, Gerald Marie, and as we saw in the last slide, Jeffrey Epstein, in this era, were looking to build something called e-model management. All right, next slide, please. Just one moment, thank you. Now, just for a little bit of extra corroboration here, you'll see this is Brunel, Jean-Luc versus Jeffrey Epstein, an excerpt from a lawsuit, okay? This is Brunel suing Jeffrey Epstein. Now, let's just localize this here. Next, Plaintiff Brunel started the company E-Management to work with Elite models in Paris. Plaintiff had to close it almost immediately because Elite didn't send any models to Plaintiff NC2 for fear of being linked to Epstein. Kind of boring, whatever. Let's move on. Next slide. All right, and just so we see here, this slide is E-Management New York Incorporated corporate documents listed in investigation as evidence in the filing cabinet. So again, this is something that you see in the emails that shows you that there was an official filing. It is called E-Management New York Inc. Okay? Elite SA, Articles of Organization, whatever. We don't need to go through any of that. Again, we're just like quadruply showing you within the context of a little reporting as well as the files that this was definitely a thing that these people were kind of conspiring to do again in the mid-early aughts, all right? Let's move on. That might be, let's see. Then here, just for funsies, so if you don't know Darren Endike, he would be Jeffrey Epstein's long-term lawyer since at least 1995. And here you'll see a list of different corporations, essentially, or things that he incorporated. And the reason I'm showing you this is here, E-Management New York LLC, we see that he definitely filed E-Management New York LLC. So you cannot detach this from Jeffrey Epstein, okay? This is his personal lawyer. Let's move on to the next slide. Is that it? Okay, great. So now just give me one moment. We're going to open up a whole different slideshow now that kind of more boring setup is out of the way. This is where things should start to get a little bit more fun, all right? Now, so outside of the files, we're leaving the files completely, all right? And this is where I just started to go down the rabbit hole in conjunction with Gel. And so here we go. I went looking just to double corroborate the fact that Darren Endyke did in fact file E-Management New York LLC. This is from bizprofile.com, and you will see all of the filing information here. Notice the company name, E-Management New York LLC, okay? And this was filed first on May the 2nd, 2006. And you'll see that the company is 19 years and 9 months old because it's still active, as you can see here in green. Somebody still pays to ensure that this stays operational. All these, literally exactly 20 years later, okay? Next slide, please. Just the arrow this time. It's a different program. Oh, hit play. There we go, hit play. Perfect. Okay, thank you so much. Now, what I did after that, I just typed in E-Management, E-Agency, any iterations of those that I can think of, right? It's a very nebulous kind of business name, so I immediately assumed I would get multiple hits, and I did. However, this was one of the very first ones that I clicked on, and look at it. How boring. What a nebulous nothing site, right? You see EMA, E-Management Agency, creative. We connect talented influencers with powerful brands. What we do, digital strategy, design and content, talent. Start an influencer campaign, get started, all right? Then, next slide, please. I noticed the contact information down at the bottom here, yes? And it says, contact us for more information at david@davidmarmon.com. Who the fuck is David Marmon, right? So then I go to davidmarmon.com, all right? And it has like a weird backlink to emanagementagency.com, but the domain's no longer paid for, right? It's just kind of a dead site. But I go into the Internet Archive, I get a hit in, right here, it's 2016, about me. I haven't surfed the waves of Stargan Island or climbed Mount Everest. Those are still bucket list items. I've made it my life's goal to be as creative as I can in everything I do. I shoot stills for myself and others, design websites, light movie sets, and dabble in business ventures. I have won a number of design awards, though I am not convinced they were deserved. I'm a strong believer in community and collaboration. Let's be friends. Better yet, let's climb Mount Everest together. What I do, web design, photography, adventure, fitness. Again, pretty nebulous. What is going on here? Next slide. But then I find on the archive another capture in 2017. Same site. Now I have a face. Look at him. He can't wait to meet you. Again, it's the same kind of pull quotes that he used in the 2016 capture, but luckily now I have a face to work with, yeah? So, I have a name, I have a face, and remember the name is David Marmon, all right? Next slide. Beautiful. So then now that I know David Marmon's name, I wonder if said individual might have ever filed any LLCs himself, and turns out he did, 4 of them. People Page, who cares? Canatara, who cares? But you can imagine my shock when I see Trump Publican and Trumpocrat, yeah? And then right next to it, I see Trump Publican, or where it says Trump Publican, Trump for President LLC. Right beneath that, Trumpocrat, Trump for President LLC. You can imagine that my jaw was on the floor. Next slide, please. Then, this is just like a full or blown up view of kind of the entire page, yeah? And so let's just localize Trumpocrat right here. Again, Trump for President LLC. First use, date, July the 12th, 2014. Okay, and there's a serial number here, all right? Now, if you kind of go down and look, you'll see that the first actual use of it in terms of commerce would be 21 January 2015. Okay, owner contact information, Trump for President LLC. Okay, filed by attorney David Marmon, filed by law firm David Marmon. And I'm like, wow, I mean, just several years ago, he was just like a photographer, I thought, right? And he wanted to climb Mount Everest. He's an attorney too? I'm confused. Next slide. And just to show you, it's the exact same thing, but for the other term. The other was Trumpocrat. This is Trump Publican, same information. Trump for President LLC, David Marmon, moving on. Now, just for double corroboration, I also went onto the USPTO site, so the United States Patent Trademark Office. Again, Trumpocrat. After I put in David Marmon's name, of course, and so I got the same 4 hits. The other 2 LLCs, don't worry about them. They're nebulous, like, you know, whatever marketing agencies like the last one. But again, Trumpocrat, Trump for President LLC, Trump Publican, Trump for President LLC. Same thing. First use in commerce, 21 January 2015, abandoned by 12 March 2015, all right? So we've seen both of those on USPTO, moving on. And just so you have kind of a blow up of the USPTO, I thought that I would go ahead and fill that in. Now, I want you to pay attention here. Again, Trump for President LLC, the owner address is on Cordedaria Street in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Now, it's not really important to like understand why, but I actually had just finished having a conversation of I need to incorporate for like all of the stuff that I've been up to lately and detach myself basically from like my brand, if you will. So I actually recently just got advised that the best place to incorporate would be New Mexico for reasons. All right. So I kind of just had that conversation and I was like, can we go to the next slide, please, actually? Actually, back up for a second. Never mind. More on New Mexico in a few minutes, actually. Okay. So what I do want you to do, though, is I want you to look here where it says attorney name, David Marmon, and then it says attorney primary email address. It says miscellaneous at 501c3go.com. So I went to 503cgo.com. Next slide.
My apologies, Tapley. Is that, how do you spell Marmon?
Marmon.
O-N. Okay, thank you. Sorry about that.
Don't be sorry at all. And please, anybody, if you have questions, if you need clarification, totally fine to interrupt me. So I get to this site, 501c3success.com. Yes. It says, start your nonprofit today. Welcome to 501c3 Success. If you're looking to start your nonprofit, you've come to the right place. The team here at 501c3 Success is ready to help you with every step of your nonprofit journey. We have a world-changing team and top-notch service and upgraded streamlined systems. We are working on updating our website, so forgive the construction zone. We're available to help you anytime. Please email us at such and so on. Look at this creep. Let's move to the next slide. Meet David. All of a sudden, I have another David Marmon, which this was super fucking confusing, but more on that in just a moment. Meet David. David G. Marmon is our value consultant. He is a Harvard-trained attorney and a nonprofit expert. He founded the original nonprofit information service, 501c3go, in 1981. Over the past 43 years, he has helped thousands of happy clients reach their 50c3 dreams. The long and short of it is, I was initially very confused when I saw this person's face because I was like, who is that much younger person on the e-management site? Like, maybe I'm really off the track here. Like, I think I just backed myself into a brick wall. Just like many threads that I've gone down, I almost assumed that I was like hitting a nothing burger. Simple point is, this is David Marmon Sr. The other guy you've met, who you're about to learn more about, is his son. Okay. Now, I said we're going to talk a little bit more about New Mexico LLCs and why one would incorporate there. Okay. And straight up, this is from ChatGPT. I'm not a fucking lawyer. I don't know anything about incorporating. So I asked it, what would be the advantage, like, what is the advantage of filing for LLCs or S corps in the state of New Mexico versus other states? Please don't file, people don't file LLCs in New Mexico because they love the desert. They file there because New Mexico doesn't ask questions. That's it. New Mexico is one of the few states where you can form an LLC and not list the actual owners publicly. No members, no managers, no annual report. You file it, you hire a registered agent, and on paper, the only thing anyone sees is a mailing address and a generic service company. You could be running a cupcake shop. You could be holding real estate. You could be operating a perfectly legal consulting firm. Or you could be running something you'd rather not have your name attached to. And that's the point. The attraction isn't taxes. New Mexico doesn't have...
I don't know how, but I've gotten 4 violations already. Should I keep it playing or should I pause it? Because I don't want the live to get taken down. Yeah. Restart maybe. I don't. I'm thinking about just letting it play. I don't know. Aqua's the genius here. What do you think I should do, Aqua? Or I can come back in 3 hours when everybody's awake. Yeah, ever since that whole terms thing. So this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna shut down the live for now because I already got 3, and this is my backup. So I gotta at least protect this for the next 2 days. I'm gonna shut this live down. I'm gonna come back in a couple of hours, and I will replay this from the beginning so that we have more people, less violations, and we'll be able to go from there. Everybody sound good on that? Everybody sound good? No, yes, maybe so. We don't know. Copy. All right. I'll be back in a couple of hours to play the rest of this. I have it noted at 13131. So depending on the audience that we have, we will either play it from there or we will start it from the beginning to kind of get a recap from where we're going. I will shut this down. I will catch y'all in a couple of hours. Appreciate y'all.